Investigators confirmed Lewis was in Indianapolis by his most recent posts on X. They tracked the IP address of these posts to here, the Hilton Garden Inn, right in downtown Indianapolis. A dry creek bed in Broad Ripple Park today for an unusual reason. Let me show you. Right down here is one of the only places, maybe the only place, you can see the remnants of what used to be one of the largest pools in the world. Angela and Zach, we do have some brand new information from Indiana State Police. We have charges for Daniel Muir and Kristen Muir. As I read these, I'm going to give you a closer look inside this compound. I did ask police if there is body cam of this. I was told they believe there is. Obviously, this was SWAT, Lawrence, IMPD, all on scene here.
This is our cult. This is our team.
And this is Seth. Race for governor, not the only one you guys are watching as an entire party tonight, but how are you feeling as the AP has already called that for Mike Braun? Tell me, they were just installed a little while ago, most of them still standing, but some of them some pretty significant damage. This is the crossbar of one of these. I'll give you a full look at it here. Is this on? We're trying out a new microphone. And believe it or not, there are actually two runners coming toward me. This is the funniest thing in the world. Hold on, guys. Why are you running in this?
For the half marathon. We're making Eric do his work early this morning.
Red Bull Air Force skydivers. Sir, how was the landing?
Oh, it's awesome. Nice and fast.
A little bit of effort and some help from another nice neighbor. We got Murphy moving again.
Oh, there we go. Come on. Woo.
State police say a person was walking through this parking garage off Washington Street in downtown with a can of spray paint, going car to car to car, tagging as she went. Jody Smith got quite the unwanted surprise when she returned to her car in the parking garage off Washington Street in downtown Indy Friday afternoon.
The whole side spray painted with squiggles of white paint.
Smith quickly found out she wasn't the only victim.
The car next to me was tagged, the car next to that was tagged, but then there were a couple blanks.
And the vandalism just seemed to grow.
As we drove down the 3 floors, I counted about 30 cars.
All in all, state police say more than 50 cars were tagged with white spray paint in the parking garage, seemingly at random.
It appears somebody's intention was just to damage other people's property.
We drove around Tuesday and found a few cars that still appeared to have the paint on. No messages written, just squiggly lines.
It's beyond me why somebody would ever even consider doing that.
State police do have a pretty good lead on who might have done it. They're asking people if they recognize this person.
We're fortunate that we were able to get some good surveillance photos.
Police got lucky with the pictures of the suspect. They were captured on the camera of a car, just like this one.
The dollar value of this crime could be significant because of the amount of cars that were damaged.
It seems all 50-plus cars were vandalized during the day Friday. Capitol Police are in charge of that garage and other state grounds nearby.
They have patrol elements that are out and about throughout the day, but they have a lot of ground to cover.
From what Smith saw, it seems like the vandal or vandals weren't too worried about security.
Even on the first floor, which is close to where the office is, there were cars that were tagged.
Smith's managed to get her car cleaned up and hopes someone comes forward with who this person is.
If you know who this is, they need to be held accountable.
If you're one of the people who haven't been able to get this paint off your car yet, Jody's mechanic gave her a tip. Get a cloth with some mineral spirits on it, put some elbow grease into it, and it should start to come off. Reporting here in downtown, I'm Eric Graves. Roofs are gone. Some homes aren't even here. Right behind me, this is just the foundation. It's all that's left. You can hear people actively working, patching up, trying to save what is left of their homes as people really try and comprehend how their lives changed in just a matter of seconds Friday night.
Just devastated. It's been a week of milestones for Brian Keeley and his young family of 3. A great spring break was finished off with his 10-month-old son taking his first steps.
Watched him walk right here, walk from me to my wife.
Just days later on Friday, the happy family barely survived when an EF3 tornado swept through Whiteland, tearing apart the neighborhood they love.
Friday night, well, if it was up to me, we'd be probably gone.
Brian says he wasn't taking the storm seriously, and it wasn't until the power went out that they rushed downstairs.
It hit while we were going down there. It sounded like 100 freight trains were driving by, helicopters everywhere. I mean, it felt like I was 100 feet underwater with that air pressure.
The storm sent a piece of metal roofing into their home, hitting right where they had been.
Speared into our front window, like a missile.
From there, the storm cut through trees, homes, and tore apart a huge warehouse.
And for us not to have any injuries or to transport anybody to the hospital due to the injuries is just, to me, it's the most amazing story there is.
Whiteland Fire Chief Eric Funkhauser says crews spent the weekend making the hardest hit areas safe for volunteers to help clean. Several neighborhoods need help from volunteers.
This is a months-long process. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of work, a lot of cleanup.
Keeley says they're already looking to rebuild.
We're going to come back here because this is Whiteland, and this community around where this hit is absolutely probably the best place I've ever been.
It's a resilient family here and a very close neighborhood here as they all work to figure out what is next with so many of these homes that are going to have to be torn down. Now, they are going to need so much help, as you heard from the fire chief right there. Hundreds of people out across the town today. Hundreds more are going to need it in the days and weeks to come. We're going to have more information on our website about how you can volunteer your time. Reporting here in Whiteland, Eric Graves, Fox 59 News.
A little slower than an Indy car.
Nothing like a little fresh powder inside the racing capital of the world.
So it feels pretty good for an old guy. And it's never bad when you get to do something at the speedway.
It means a chance to hit the slopes or the track for IMS President Doug Bowles.
There goes the yard of bricks.
No snow plows allowed on the oval, but snowboards are all clear.
This is pretty deep right here. This is nice. I bet right now we're 7 or 8 inches probably. You can feel the drifts from the wind through here too.
I tagged along for a few laps around the iconic track, handling the camera out the back of the IMS SUV and getting covered in snow.
How those hands, Eric? You're getting all the snow on you.
2025 at the Cathedral of Speed may have gotten off to a frosty start.
This will be the first full lap of 2025, but the slowest full lap of 2025.
But we are getting closer to May.
Any opportunity to remind people that we're 137 days away from the 109th running of the Indy 500, we're gonna do it.
There's the first of many laps around the track.
That feels pretty good.
See you in May.
I got more snow on me than you do.
In a dry creek bed in Broad Ripple Park today for an unusual reason. Let me show you. Right down here is one of the only places, maybe the only place, you can see the remnants of what used to be one of the largest pools in the world, a pool that built Olympians.
It was cold.
Mel Goldstein has fond memories at the former Broad Ripple Pool in his childhood.
I probably spent from May 30th to when we went back to school.
Placed along the White River, pamphlets the Indiana Historical Society has saved from the 1920s boasted it was the largest concrete pool in the world at 450 feet by 207 feet.
One afternoon they counted 1,600 people, and I just can't imagine it filled with that many bodies.
It was more than just a pool, though. The Broad Ripple amusement park around the pool had roller coasters, a dance hall, and if the pamphlet is accurate...
Was there actually a lion?
I believe so. Yeah.
Even with the king of the jungle, the high-tech for the time pool was always the main attraction. In 1924, the pool hosted the U.S. Olympic swim trials before the Olympics in Paris. 100 years later, and history repeats itself. This time inside of Lucas Oil Stadium for the 2024 U.S. Olympic swim trials in Indy, where athletes will move on to Paris once again. Both spectacular venues, but which pool is bigger?
And you could set that pool inside of this pool.
Records show the Broad Ripple pool could hold 4.3 million gallons, double that of both pools inside of Lucas Oil. Now the land where the pool used to be is just a green grass field. But pieces of history aren't far away. Mel can confirm.
Does that look like the tiles?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they're little bitty square tiles.
Right under the feet of where neighbors walk every day, you can still see the red and white tiles that used to line the giant pool. If you look hard enough, you could even find more.
If you walk down towards the river, the other places in the river, you might find either bigger pieces and other pieces that are that big.
If you're wanting to find this little piece of history for yourself, it's at the entrance to Broad Ripple Park, right off Evanston. Now, I will warn you, it does take a little bit to get down here, but, you know, I think you can do it. For me, I got to figure out how to get out now. Reporting here in Broad Ripple Park, Eric Graves, Fox 59 News.